And welcome back.
Hello.
And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has unusual amount of
Zeal.
Let's hear more. Another one? Okay.
I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why.
Press?
Uh,
Or present?
I think...
What does it say?
Well, it says press Jake on all his statements, so it's their testimony. Then they just added it, so yes, press.
But the case you solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dog was convicted for those crimes. One thing I can say for sure, he deserved his sentence.
I remember Joe Dog's case. It involved several murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with this incident? Maybe I should press him with what I think his real reason is? I had a feeling I'll end up assuming it right here. No one's involved here, so it's related to some way of this case. I'm gonna take a look around at the files.
Okay, so go ahead and go back to that statement. Yeah, the final statement.
And present the file,
Yes.
because we looked at that already.
Present. Ah, good.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident files here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. And the list of the murder's victims. Now, Marshall.
Neil Marshall.
Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago,
He
he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
He was a prosecutor.
Yes.
What? A prosecutor? He must have been talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gam, chief detective at the time.
That's him in the corner right down there.
Yeah. The group of detectives I was part of worked under him. Under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer.
Oh shit, that's what he looks like.
Yeah, Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one would have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try and hide it, you can't fool me!
Well, at least one thing is for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department at the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he found him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up.
Not really.
No murder took place at the police department. Well, this part of the mystery.
Yeah, the second part, it's like, why is there so much blood? Huh?
The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, This fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance. Gotta be more than that.
No, that was just pure chance.
Yeah. So no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime. That means the murder in the police officer's parking was the real one.
And we've just wasted an entire day on this fake.
Oh my god.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
But wait! If Rhoda can't resist in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions.
there's one. Who's 77777?
Well, that's not a contradiction. But contradiction of the massive amount of blood on the floor.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
No contradictions are made. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Scott. There were no errors in the testimony of the witness, Angel Star.
Bullshit.
If you have a response, make it one word or less.
Ugh!
I rest my case.
Oh wait, she's back. It seems the trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Oh, I think that was an error, because she never came back. They would have made a big deal about it.
Oopsie.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt that I was proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera tab really was fake. But I don't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
No. Oh.
Now then, the time up for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Yeah, she's not there. Hold it. Oh. Hold it!
Hi there,
Your Honor, wait!
Emma.
Emma. The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you a girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends.
There you go.
You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings.
Now that she mentioned it, the name of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
That's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints.
Oh! Well, where the bloody handprint is on Gumshoe's locker.
It's the...
Well, no. It's not why the handprint is there. It's how could it appear there during the...
scuffle.
During the scuffle when the blue badger was blocking it.
Oh, shit, you're right!
But
no fingerprints were found on that, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again.
So, did you find something?
No.
Fuck. Ugh!
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
I'm
just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy! Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. What regard to the incident at the police department? Was any responsibility?
Reasonable doubt remain. It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer the question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor.
I need to conclude it now. What would be wrong with that handprint on the concussion? Could there be something I'm missing?
Yes, I eject it.
I object.
Figured it out. Sandpaper left on the crime scene. Clearly shows a
Contradiction.
history.
We're well aware,
Oh, I'm
right?
getting a phone call. This might be my job. Hold on. Sorry.
The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been standing pretty familiar with these floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange.
Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that, when drawn, would completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray that the defendant is simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
Well, all this is here. Gotta be something I can use.
The question is,
Which item can prove something is missing in the floor plan? The blue? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's blocking the way.
It is in the video, but obviously it was put there at 450 when Meekins went in there the first time.
Yeah, not before.
Exactly, so put it there.
Present?
Yeah. No! What about this piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger. Mascot of the police forces. Defender of the truth, just guardians of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please take a look at the floor plans at the crime scene. The Blue Badger's not here.
So?
So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he would be dancing the time of the crime. Well, what?
Gasp!
That's right. So long as Blind Blance is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at that spot on the locker.
What? No!
It's true.
so that means, exactly what does that mean? It means it cannot be done. What are you saying? Blood traces
We're
will
undeniably
be found on the locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put that in there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma,
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
That's true. So that must mean this blood mark
Was left... Oh.
was left before the Blue Badger was brought in.
just one moment. I will not allow such,
Far-fetched balderdash.
in my courtroom.
It might sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only responsible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not only once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on the tape, taken by the security camera. Yep. Officer Meekins cut his hand with the travel among the
With a
blood.
trivial amount of blood.
The problem is, the other time.
Eh?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Someone
Bled.
blood period to this prior to this struggling down on this tape. It had to been Detective Gunman when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refute you.
Fuck you!
The murderer upon it is the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, it does not explain the blood mark found in the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves it occurred.
When did the first incident occur? Yeah, it's on the ID thing. The
ID records.
yeah, ID records. Yeah.
To assume the defense claims that, prior to Officer Meekin's being cut by Jack Marshall, who has disguised as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room? The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? Proof must be present.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's no other piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present the evidence? Will it show that when the first incident took place?
Yes.
The crime took place in the evidence room, then the criminal would have to been into the room in order to do so, with a user's ID to it is required. An ID card? Oh! An ID record! Order through... Okay.
Officer
Police brought the blue laser panel into the evidence room at... let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, it would be... 4:40... Ah! Ah!
Miles Edgeworth? What have you done? I never figured you had a nerve, boy. Put off the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away? But the real murderer?
I would have to have had 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. I'd have to be in like 17 places at once.
That would have mean crime must have taken place before Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Just like the card again.
There's only one other card member, 77777.
Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Officer Gavin have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of the card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only possible explanation. We want in...
He went in with 7777777.
Jesus Christ. Mr. Usher, please take into this ASAP. Find out who's ID number 77777.
That's only that's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
And an officer's charge filed against an
executive
is accepted.
An officer's charge?
And an official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there.
What the hell?
Your own little executive.
Lana.
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 777777. So, don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we, Occasionally.
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Lana?
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defend it! Just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in the crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you did it!
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Did? Why don't you answer him? Drastic crimes.
Required drastic measures. That's just why it is. We did it what we had to in order to for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana!
Even if it involves forging evidence. Oh my god. She had to do it.
Uh-huh. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No!
Order! 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 Order!
Order! Lana's remark caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
Jeez.
Shit, dude!
Shit just went down. Oh boy. Yes, fucking yes, save. God damn. Ugh. Sorry. Trying to stay awake.
February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes
requires drastic measures. That's just the way it was. So we did what we had to do in order for him to get what the verdict
he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark to convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in that file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with these killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
That's what Joe Marshall was. What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
So she was a witness.
Uh-huh.
So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming.
Let's pry some more. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Dark.
It seems like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jack Marshall's brother.
Jake. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture.
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provide bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Elm. Oh, from the picture, here we go. What did you see in the incident that crime occurred?
Dark looked down at Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Elm Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Well, you've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried. The words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find that evidence to make an whole airtight case.
Makes sense.
That way Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about the crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor.
Well, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department.
Oh!
He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to the sister's office?
Because the detective offices and the questioning room were right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana, was the chief prosecutor... wasn't she...
Oh, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Oh, shit. Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talking with her.
And with that, we'll catch you guys tomorrow when we go see her.
Later, guys.
Bye.